And I remember Goto saying to me one-on-one that, Kasper, if you put this game style to SB League match, you are crazy. And I say that, yes, I want to be crazy. So let's go.
From hockey, I think still we have this thing called sauna night. And I think here also alcohol, good food, that usually works also as team building.
Today we will hear from our guests what the Finnish way of coaching entails, how it can contribute to Japan, and how our two cultures can work together to achieve sporting success. And finally, let me introduce our guests. Kasper Vuorinen from the Tokyo Great Bears here in the middle, head coach. Jesper Jalonen, assistant coach for the Nikko Icebacks. Lassi Tuovi, head coach for the Yokohama B Corsairs and the Finnish national team. Nose-san from the Great Bears, former player and working in also for the volleyball team Great Bears, also as in the PR section, right? And you played also in Finland and Japan. Welcome. And also then our moderator, Jun Ikushima. Welcome.
ここからは日本でコーチングすることの楽しみあるいは苦労みたいなことをお伺いしていきたいと思いますけれども、イエスパー、日本の選手の印象っていうのをまず最初にお伺いしたいんですけど、いかがでしょうか。
I think they're extremely skilled, disciplined, hard workers. I was really surprised by the skill level. I was expecting them to be hard workers and pretty disciplined, and just of the research I made about the culture here. So I was expecting that, but the skill level was, I wasn't expecting it to be as high as it is. Compared to Finland, like it's I can compare it to the second league, the league over here. So the level is really good, and that's the main reason why I wanted to stay here, is because the team is really good and the league is really good and competitive.
コーチングを、アイスバックスさんにいらっしゃいますけども、コーチングをする上で日本のチーム運営するにはここが難しい、マネジメントするにはここが苦労するっていうところがあれば教えていただけますか。
Communication. That's a big thing. And I'm in a bit different role than these two on my left, because I'm the assistant coach, so I don't have all the reins. I don't control everything, but communication is a big thing. It's very difficult to create relationship with the players the same way you would if you had the same language. So I'd say that's the most difficult thing and the problem that comes up. So yeah, that side of things, the communication works pretty well. It could always be better, but yeah, it's more of the one-on-one, the individual stuff. That's I think the more difficult part of it.
ありがとうございます。カスパーは日本の選手、いろいろな国でプレーされたりコーチングされてますけど、日本の選手の特徴、それを感じるところがあれば教えてください。
Well, we already talked in the back room about this, that in many countries that I have been coaching and playing, coaches need to tell players to practice extra. But I have never had to do that in Japan. All I have to do is to limit unnecessary practice, or like try to make it more efficient. So the level of commitment and hard work is through the roof. It's amazing. That's a really big plus. And also because they have played, in my case, volleyball in the junior high school, university, which are super high level. In, let's say, in volleyball, there is 2 countries in the world which has really good education sports system. It's USA and Japan. Like these university games, it's a really big thing. And whenever I go to a new team, well, let's say I was in Nagoya or now I'm in Tokyo, I ask that who is from which university, who is senior, who is junior, because all these roles is really important. Who is, I think people are nodding because that's a huge thing. So because they have played so much volleyball in their life, when they come to professional teams, like Jesper said, the skill level is really high. So that's really the good thing. The challenge part is that when people are so focused on the details and the small nuances, I try to set the players free. Instead of giving them manual what to do and where to stand, I wanna give the big frame. I think the big shift and paradigm change in the coaching overall has been away from single mosaic of detailed instructions and giving more principles and concepts. So my idea in case of team culture and game style and even personal growth is to give a frame, and inside the frame the players are free, individually and in the team-wise. But it's really important for them to know the limits and the frame, what is too much, what is too little. But then within those limits, they can be absolutely free and creative and enjoy the sport. That's how I think.
今のお話で2つ質問があるんですけれども、バスケットボールの、トム・ホーバスヘッドコーチが、日本人は自主練習しすぎるので効率が落ちていると、非常に短い時間で集中力を保つのが逆に言うと苦手だっていうようなことを言っていたんですけれども、やっぱエフィセンシー、効率性っていうのはそのあたりも同じようなことを感じたりしますか？
Well, I have educated myself a lot, and I know that sport is learning a motor skill, like a sport, let's say volleyball skill. It's very specific, means that in order there to have a transfer for the real game, one must play with the teammates, and most likely we have to play against the opponent. So the transfer from one player practicing alone to the real game scenario, it's a huge distance. It's sometimes necessary to have a really simple setup in the drill to learn something totally new. But as soon as we have even small idea of the skill, we should bring it to the team practice scenario. And so I do appreciate the individual work, but even more important is the team practice.
あと先ほどお話を伺った中で発見があったなと思ったのは、日本人は細かいところにこだわるがゆえに大きなフレームとかを書く、あるいはその中でプレーするのがちょっと苦手なのかなと思ったりもしますけれども、そのあたりはコーチの立場から感じたりしますか？
Well, I'm really happy what Nose-san said here, that I am good at communication. I hope so. But many times when I introduce some concept, I really need to go to details what it actually means. So talking about very abstract things, I think it's not a good idea. It's good to be always very concrete and give examples. So I think that's the key.
野瀬さん、やっぱり日本のバレーボールの選手はどちらかというと、やっぱり細かい自分の技術の上達に集中しがちで、ちょっとコーチングスタイル違うので、いろいろな日本の選手にとっては、彼のコーチングスタイル発見につながるのかなと思うんですけれども、そのあたりはご自身の体験も踏まえていかがでしょうか？
そうですね。日本の 僕が出てきてやってきた指導者の方と、コーチングスタイルはもちろんそれは違うアプローチの仕方はあるんですけど、ただ、彼の場合は、韓国で学んでたりウルフドックス名古屋にいたりしたこともあったので、グレートベアーズに来た時はですね、もうすでに日本人の特性を理解した上で、コンセプトを説明するっていうことをやってくれていたので、そこはそんなに選手困惑してなかったのかなっていうのと、カスパー監督のスタイルはすごくはっきりしているので、やることのミッション、まずコンピートっていうのが軸にあった上で、速いバレーで、そして、面白いバレー、見ていて楽しいバレーっていうのをコンセプトに掲げているので、それは選手にとってすごく分かりやすかったのかなと。ただその中でこういったプレーをしていく、こういったプレーをしていくっていうやっていく中で、じゃあこれはどういう入り方をしたらいいんだとか、カスパー監督として結果としてこういう形になればいいっていうところなんですけど、日本人はそのプロセスを結構気にして、じゃあどこから助走に入ったらいいかとか、どういうふうになんですかね、トスは多分カスパー監督が思ってたよりもボール1個とかボール半個とか、そういう細かい部分があったりしたところはもしかしたら違ったのかなと思います。
はい、その辺の今すり合わせをしているっていう感じなんでしょうね、グレートベアーズはね。
そうですね、もうでも3年目なので、新しく入ってきた選手には新しく多分カスパー監督も重点的にそういったところを多分伝えてると思いますし、もう3年いる選手はやりたいことっていうのがもう明らかにきちんと理解できているので、それをやっていくっていうところのすり合わせはもうある程度済んでるのかなっていう気はしています。
ありがとうございます。ではラッシュにお伺いしますけれども、ラッシュはターキー、フランス、イタリアなどでもコーチングの経験ありますけども、日本でコーチングする喜び、難しさ、どの辺に感じているかお伺いできればと思います。
Well, of course, like Jens here spoke already, you need to understand the roots, the cultural difference, where they come from, how they have been working all their lives, and this you cannot just change. It's different in Italy, it's different in Finland, and for sure it's different in Japan. I would like to make a little summary from what they said here earlier, that I think we lead in Finland a lot of players and our teams through the dialogues, two-way communication. And this was probably one of the first things I said to my team, that this is going to be a big change for you because I'm expecting some answers. And we all know that here it's more that they expect strict information, how to do, and if I do it like coach said, I'm okay. But for example, the challenge is the game of basketball is not only me. It's not how I do, how I'm prepared, because there's 9 other players on the floor and you need to dance together and react what the other team is doing. So sometimes whatever you do, even though you practice hours and hours, the other team has right to surprise you and put you in the situations that you don't know what to do. And then it cannot be only the coach who's telling you what is the answer. You need to communicate with your teammates and also be able to make some decisions you haven't probably done so many times before. But that's why we need the dialogue. And I think, the challenge has been that creating this two-way communication, that you also have an ownership for what we're going to do. Talking about joy, I think every learning process, when we are successful with this kind of things that we learn new, players learning from Finnish coach and new habits. You are a 30 years old basketball player and you're able to do something new and recognize that's great. Every day, coach, when you recognize that the player learns or you learn by yourself, that's the biggest joy of coaching.
ありがとうございます。それぞれのお三方のコーチングのスタイルが浮かび上がったかなと思いますけれども、ちょっとね、ここで日本人との関係性について聞いてみたいと思うんですけども、フィリップ・ブランというパリオリンピックまで男子バスケットボールチームの代表監督をされていた方が、僕インタビューしたときに、日本人っていうのは、はい、はいって言っても多分それで理解したんだろうなと思っても、そのように動いてくれないことに気づくのに1年半くらいかかったっていうふうにフィリップ・ブランが言ってたんですね。野瀬さん、やっぱり中学高校時代ってはいはいっていう文化どうしても日本にあったりしますよね。どうですか？
そうですね。 まあ皆さんも分かると思うんですけど、まああまりいい絵が存在しないというか、はいはいっていう、とりあえずまああんまりこう考えずにはいはいはいって言って、僕はそういう感じでした。はい。
イエスパーはそういう日本人が本当に何考えてるかわからない時とかあったりした経験ありませんか？
Yes, of course, there's been situations like that. I think, like Kasper mentioned, but in the back, that I haven't had that issue with players. It's usually if usually they follow what I told and do it, and I haven't experienced that. Sometimes it's the staff, like the staff saying that, "Hey, good idea," and nothing happens. Yeah, I haven't really experienced it, but yeah, but that is I've noticed that is a thing in the culture that you don't like to say no too often.
カスパーはそういった経験はありますか？選手との対話の中で。
Well, overall, I would say about coaching in Japan as a foreign head coach is that if my team doesn't understand the concept or doesn't play the way I want, I'm the one to blame because players do follow. They understand and they are ready to do whatever to follow. So then it's my job to just communicate it better. And overall, it's quite good. I want to give one example. A few years ago, one, let's say, good to university talent named Goto came to our summer practice. And there was a chance that maybe he comes to our team, and then we were doing all kind of crazy things, and also like Nossa said, maybe also fun things. We were playing quite fast and creative. Sometimes instead of full spike, you push the ball with left hand, two hand, do all kind of crazy tricks. And then there was this idea that, hey, we have this fun, great, fast, creative game style, but then in the real game we go be scared and play slow and conservative as we have always played. But then I say that, no, let's just play the same as we play in the practice. Let's be crazy, let's go fast, let's be creative. And I remember Goto saying to me one-on-one that, Kasper, if you put this game style to SV League match, you are crazy. And I say that, yes, I want to be crazy, so let's go. And then since that, it's been our game philosophy. We want to play fast, creative, surprise, speed, skill, surprise. That's one way to say it. Another way to say my coaching philosophy is facts, fun, fire, future. That's my ideas of coaching. So I think communication is the key here.
ラッシーは選手とのね対話が非常に重要だっていうふうに先ほどおっしゃいましたけれども、実際はいはいっていうような分かってないじゃんっていうような経験はされたことがありますか？
Well, of course, let's say almost every day I've learned that I need to go back on the topic. They will not change their personality and natural behavior because of a Finnish coach coming in. So it's another way to ask and find out that maybe you have some doubts, maybe you have something that you want to ask again, but they will not do it in the public when the coach is giving instruction. If I ask that everybody understood, everybody will knock the head. I'm using a lot of small groups. I'm putting even the players on the small groups watching the film together. So there's not the big pressure. There's 3 to 4 players, 4 to 5 players together with coach who cannot speak. So the coach is just pushing the play and stop, and then they can discuss each other's. And I felt so far that for certain players it has helped that they can at least ask, or they can impress something very important from the other players, that how they feel and see it, but it will never come out in a public situation in front of the head coach talking. So trying to find those ways for each and everyone to impress themselves and feel important, it's a key. But I follow the thing what Kasper said here, that I also think that modern sports, team sport, needs to be fun. That it cannot just be routines and doing so. You need to have a smile on your face when you come to the practice, because you know that this is going to be great thing. We're playing the thing we love. We have passion, so it needs to be joy every day.
それがね、チームへの忠誠心、ロイヤリティにつながっていきますからね。
Yeah, that's true, and I would say that there is a reason why you have such a qualities here in sports and in work in Japan, but the best thing in life is still when you learn new things, and probably that's the reason why us three we are sitting here, that at the end of the day you are curious to also learn what's the other things to do.
今小グループによって、いろいろグループワークをするっていうのは結構チームビルディングの一つのアイデアだと思うんですけども、カスパーはチームビルディングをするにあたって何か具体的なねアイデアとか工夫をされていることはありますか、日本で。
Well, I think that every day is team building. Every interaction is team building. Every drill, every game we play is team building. I think it would be quite weird to think that we have a miserable time. We just practice because it's a work, which is a work. It's a professional sport, which is true. And then one day we would have team building event and we go to have fun. I rather have fun every day. So I think it's good to have team culture that I talk about open communication a lot. So we have to be able to be honest and straight. And that's something important.
イエスパーはいかがでしょうか。
Well, for me, team building, I'm not sure if I'm answering exactly the right question, but for me, team building, like said, it's every day. For us, it's competing. Competing is fun for the players, and then you just need to find other ways to make it fun, make it enjoyable. Because the season can be long if it isn't fun to come to work, because it's work. So it shouldn't feel like work. So that's the thing. It has to be fun, so it doesn't feel like work. But I have to say, coming from, I don't know how it's in other sports in Finland, but coming from hockey, I think still we have this thing called sauna night. And I think here also alcohol, good food, that usually works also as team building. That helps.
あんまり笑わないで面白いこと言いますよね、結構ね。
Finnish coaches, why they're successful, and I'm not talking about only us, but also many other, especially team sports, but also other sports. Finnish coaches, we don't put our egos first. For us, the team is first.
Yeah, don't expect if you go to the game that if the home team loses that the 5,000 people are waving to the home team that go back to maybe not happening.